Do you ever feel like sometimes it's tough? It's hard running a business, it's hard making money, and it feels like there's so much stuff that we need to do. Well, I just interviewed a lady who I've been working with for just 4 months, and she's changed the way that she prices. She's increased the fees of her business by 3 times, and it's all by doing one thing: taking action. And in this video, her name's Melanie, and she explained what she's been doing, what she's prioritized on, how she's got such amazing results in a very short space of time. So let's go and listen to Melanie and hear her story. So Melanie, thank you so much for joining me and to share your successes on your pricing journey. And I know you've had you've done a lot of stuff very quickly, and so we'll get into that. But what I really want to do is perhaps to start with, just to give people some background, is perhaps if you just say a little bit about you, your firm, where you're based, how long you've been in business, perhaps what size it is. Just a bit of background information would be really helpful, Melanie.
Sure. Well, I started my bookkeeping journey in the mid-90s. My family had a business, and I was bookkeeping for that company, and that led me into other companies. So I started my own little bookkeeping business. But at that time, I was raising children, and I didn't have very many clients, which was good for me because I wanted to raise my children at home and be there for them. And yeah, so it made it possible. We didn't have cloud software back then. We were all desktop. But I learned a lot. Started in a manual process, learned a lot about bookkeeping, and quickly grew very, very fast. And so did my family business. So I had to step back from my own company and kind of let it go and focus just on the family company. And then that kind of led to not it didn't really lead anywhere. I ended up in a divorce, actually. So I left the family business, started over my new company, and I've been on this journey ever since. But I knew my pricing was wrong and I needed to fix it, and I didn't know what to do. I wasn't making any money, I wasn't going anywhere, and I knew I was doing something wrong. I'd moved to cloud software, but I knew that something wasn't right. So I reached out to the Canadian Professional Bookkeeping Organization and had a few roundtable discussions with them. And they said, I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm pulling out my hair. I'm working so many hours and I'm not getting paid. What's going on? What am I doing wrong? And they said, you're doing everything wrong. You need to talk to Mark Wisham, and you need to be a part of some different organizations. So I started doing some research and started watching all of what you had available via Facebook or YouTube, and realized that this was where I needed to be. So I quickly joined your Value Pricing Academy, um, and then made some changes, took some action, and now I've tripled my revenue in 6 months. Not even 6 months. I tripled it in overnight. It was an amazing feeling now that I actually have some money to be able to invest in my company, invest in myself. So I've just became limited, and it's just still me, but I've got lots more to learn. So I'm still in your academy, and I'm going to do some more business advisory, and but I need to get my packages organized, and that's my first number one of what I need to do.
Wow, Melanie, that's amazing result that you've tripled revenue in just a very short space of time. I mean, interesting hearing your story because I started my accounting firm probably a similar time to you, 1996, mid 90s, and just like you, I could when you were saying that something was wrong, pricing was wrong, that resonates with me because that's exactly where I was in the early days. So, why do you think it was that you were struggling with pricing? What were some of the things that were going? You said you were strong to make money. What do you think was the root cause of the problems with your pricing?
Me, all me. My mindset. I think that us as bookkeepers, we are so conscious of pricing, and I was scared to charge too much. And so I kept increasing my hourly rate because I wasn't making enough money. And I kept doing that. And I got to the 50 mark and I was like, okay, I I can't continue to raise my prices. What? I need to do something. This isn't right. And so that's when I joined the Canadian Professional Bookkeeping organization and got a hold of you. And I'm so grateful.
So then you joined my academy, and I think I'm right in saying that up until that point in time, you were pricing based on hourly rates. I think you just said 50 Canadian dollars an hour. So what was when you started to change the way that you price? What was the first things that you did?
Um, as far as, well, I went into your effective pricing and I went to the bookkeeping special module and put all the parameters in there and came up with a price for each individual client that I have. And I spoke to my clients and said, I gave them forewarning, your prices are going to increase. And I'm worth it. And I do a lot, and I love you, and I hope that you will stay with me. I will still produce great results for your books, and I hope we can have this relationship. I still would love to work for you and produce results. I have so many more things that I want to be able to do for each individual company. And they were all, yep, you're worth it. We know it. We've been underpaying. And yeah, you're not going anywhere. You're going to stick with me. So some of them I tripled, some of them I doubled, some of them have smaller increases. Some of them haven't completely moved over to a proper billing cycle, like a fixed rate. They're slow to move, but they're smaller clients, so I haven't pushed them too much. Um, yeah, so it's been really, really good for me.
So how did you have that conversation with them? Was that sitting down with them? Was it talking to them, or was it just sending out an email? How did the conversation take place?
We did it all over the phone. Some of them, they're on the road, they live on their phones, they're busy people, just like all entrepreneurs. They're got lots on the go. And I had forewarned them when I first started my journey with you, saying I need to change my prices. And so I constantly let them know I'm changing my prices. I'm changing my prices. And then when I did it, and then I sent them an invoice, I said, okay, so this is going to be your monthly amount. I'd like to set you on an automatic payment type of situation. So I'm not waiting for checks and I get paid at the beginning of the month before the work is done. It's quite brilliant.
And I know you mentioned a little while ago the effective pricing software. Did you use that just to give you an idea of the price kind of behind the scenes, or did you use that as part of the conversation?
I just used it behind the scenes to get me going so that I knew that I was on the right track because I didn't want to go into my value pricing with all of my brochures and be that big of a gap between my fixed price and my value price. So I want to be able to upsell and I want to be able to give them rewards because definitely some of them deserve the rewards, but then some of them don't. Um, and then but I want to do it right, and I want to put some effort and some time, and I want to, um, but I couldn't wait. I needed to change right away. I needed to put myself into a fixed billing system right away because I wasn't going to be able to afford to do all of these things that I really wanted to do without increasing my pricing.
Okay, and what's I find fascinating about what you just said is that because I don't think you've not been in the academy for that long, and I know that you've said to me before that you there's lots of things you still haven't done, haven't implemented yet. But you just went for it. You took action. You didn't wait for everything to be perfect. So you haven't set up the software yet to use in front of the clients. And no,
Nope. Not there yet. I wanted to do a bunch of testing, and I need to set it up properly. I want to do it. I want to do it right. But like I said, it's a journey, and it just doesn't happen overnight. So I wanted to be able to do it right, but I couldn't wait to increase my pricing. So I just went for it, and I was confident. I have good relationships with my clients, and if they wanted to go, then they would go. And I wasn't going to be scared to let that happen. And nobody is left. And in fact, I've gotten more.
oh wow, and so how did it feel having that pricing conversation and giving them a price? Was that a daunting process? Uh,
I think internally it felt like it was, but when it actually happened, it wasn't. And that goes to say with a lot of things. Sometimes you get inside your own head and you make this big mountain out of a molehill, and it didn't need to be that way. So I feel like at the beginning I was a little bit, oh God. And then when I actually did it, I had the confidence, and my clients just went for it. They were all good, and I am happy, very happy.
So so you mentioned right at the start that for some of the clients you triple, double the prices. Roughly speaking, on average across your client base, roughly on average, what was the increase in price? Have you measured that?
It went up, tripled. I should I talk dollars and
No,
cents?
no. I mean, sorry. In terms of so some of the clients you doubled the price. Some of them you tripled. Some of them you didn't put it up as much. But overall, on average, the average client, would it be 20, 30%, 50%, or on average was it doubling the prices?
I would say at least 50%, if not more.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, so
Yeah.
that's
So my revenue went tripled for sure.
yeah.
I feel like when I was hourly billing, when you have a number of clients and you're working for that specific client, a client all of a sudden phones or something comes in and it's an urgent, you kind of have to leave it and get back to it. I wasn't tracking my time accordingly, and it's so hard to do that. You can't just my minute by minute, and you just can't. It's too hard. Hourly billing is terrible.
It is. I
And
would agree. Yeah. So you increased the prices significantly, and I think you said that you didn't lose any clients as a result of that. But I'm guessing you must have had some pushback, some resistance. How did you deal with that?
I did. I have had pushback from one client, and she actually I let her go a while back when I went through a personal change of lifestyle, and then she sought me back. She needed to find me because she went through so many bad bookkeepers, and then I took her back on, and then now she's qualming at my pricing, my fixed pricing. So I said, listen, you can go, it's okay, but I'm not changing my pricing, but I will give you rewards if you use these types of things that I put into place, like HubDoc or just being a little bit more cloud. She's completely paper. And so we've had that conversation. She hasn't made any changes. She hasn't done anything, and she's still continuing to pay my amount. So I think maybe she just needed to push back. But she hasn't made taken action to the things that I told her I would give her discounts on if she made these changes. But I said, I'm worth it. And if you don't want to use me and go somewhere else, then you by all means go. Like, no problem, no hard feelings. I'll make sure everything is organized, and she's still here. And that was 2 months ago.
Awesome, awesome. I'm not sure if you said earlier, but Melanie, how long have you been on this? When did you join the academy? How many months ago was that?
I think it was June, the
So
beginning of June. Yeah,
yeah, so we're only talking about this is in about 4 months, if I got my math right. So
that's correct.
incredibly short period of time, which is extraordinary. So I know you're at the only at the very start of this pricing journey. I know there's more that you want to do. What are the on your to-do list? What are the two or three things that you are going to start doing next?
I'm just sorting organizational sections out in my company. Um, so that's what I'm focusing on at the moment. But I need to get back into getting back into building my all of my packages. So I have them like a bronze, silver, gold. I've called them driven, enthusiastic, and oh, the other one slipped my mind. I'm sort of playing with different ideas of I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings by going, oh, you're not driven or you're not enthusiastic. So maybe I should change those names. But um,
I
so
like them.
I'm gonna work with that. And then I need to really work on my testing and my behavioral rewards. So so yeah, so that's gonna be really what I want focused on. I'm hoping to have that all in place by the end of December, and then do a virtual brochure because I'm completely virtual. So I saw Jessica, she had a nice little a tool there to use for a virtual brochure. So I'll probably go with that route. But I don't even have a website. I just created a domain for myself because I wasn't making any money, and these things all cost money. So now that I've been able to do that, I'm able to invest in myself. I'm able to invest in my company, and I'm able to do some of these things that I really want to be able to do. Um, it all takes time, and so that's what I'm doing. Just one day at a time. I'll just do something.
Awesome. And a great point you made is we have to get our pricing until we get our pricing right. We can never afford to do anything. I found in my accounting firm many years ago that getting the price was the root cause of every problem. If you don't price right, you can't afford to hire the right people. If you can't price right, you can't afford to spend money on marketing campaigns. And you've got to get the pricing right first. Once you've done that, once you've got that foundation in place and you've got the margins are right, you're making money on clients, then you can properly invest in stuff. So it sounds like you're doing exactly the right thing. So I have a couple
Yeah.
more questions for you, Melanie. The first is, so you've mentioned that just in a few months you've trebled your fees. As well as that, what other results have you seen in terms of, I mean, for example, even if it's come from a personal, emotional point of view, how do you now feel about your firm? How do you now feel about pricing? How do you feel about the future?
Oh, I'm so excited. I have opened my eyes to so many different things that are available to us. I mean, we're a lot stronger than what we think we are. And I think the first thing is the mindset. You really have to get your mind in the right place to be able to do this venture. I feel we really need to be like strong. I feel super empowered. by doing what I've done in the journey. Learning from my peers has been great. Just even the roundtable discussions with other bookkeepers, being in your group, listening to everyone in the other groups that I'm in part of, very community oriented, and I just you learn by your with your peers, and I see some of the or I hear some of the mistakes and some of the things that they've done, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna listen, I'm gonna take note, and I'm not gonna do that. And some things I'm like, oh yeah, I've already done that. So yeah, we all learn by our mistakes, but it's been a great journey. I'm looking so forward to what this has in store for me, because I would really like to kind of get a little bit out of more the everyday compliancy bookkeeping and do a little bit more advisory, get into more working with companies with their pricing. I really love this grid possibility that's out there. Um, that's really exciting, because as I've made this like leap to this change of the way I price and this different mindset and thoughts, I look at my clients and I'm like, we could make you some more money. Let's do this. I can help you with this. So we'll really look forward to learning about the effective software and using that to help my clients grow and not be so scared to make those pricing changes. So I've had some conversations with family members that are also entrepreneurs and saying, you're not pricing enough. You have to price more. You're worth more. You're more valued. These types of things, and it's working out.
Fascinating, and I know you started with that early on as well. It is a mindset thing, and it sounds like you've got that absolutely nailed. You now got I can sense that confidence in you. The fact that you took action so quick to start having pricing conversations, and I love the fact that your mindset now, your confidence is leading you towards, I can now help my clients with this and help them make more money. My last question, Melanie, is for people watching. If you could share your top the 3 tips for people, what would they be?
Um, just take action. Don't get out of your own head, and just don't be so scared. Do the plunge. Just go for it, because a lot of times people don't. They're just too fearful of losing clients. And if they go, they weren't right for you anyways. If they didn't value you, then you're worth more. You're definitely worth more. So that would be number one. Um, Keep listening, keep educating yourself, listen to your peers. They have made mistakes and learn by those mistakes. I think we're old enough now that we can do these things. When we're a little younger, we don't really want to take that advice so much when you're in your 20s. But as you get older, you're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna learn by somebody else's mistakes for sure.
Awesome. They're great tips, and it's a pleasure learning about your journey and what you've done in such a really tiny, short space of time. It's extraordinary, and I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how this journey goes with you. And as you start implementing those next things that are on your to-do list, it's going to be fascinating. So, yeah, Melanie, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mark. Yes, thank you so much.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.